I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? How you doing? It is a great day, and I'm so very excited to be here with my next guest. We were talking a little bit earlier, and we were like, the small businesses around town and the small businesses in our nation are the backbone of the United States of America. You do have these big corporations that have millions of dollars, but combined, we have way more. And we're going to be talking about that and talking about his services and what he does for all of us small people. Welcome to the show, Robert Braiman, right?
Yeah, that's right,
You
Braiman.
confused me. You give me your nickname. No, Braiman. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's my honor and pleasure. I love to be here. Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, thank you. So tell us about yourself.
I am Rob Braiman. I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina. I could make a joke of that and say North Kakalaki. So, I'm down here the south with all you Hotlanta folks. We have been representing small business owners since 2014. We're in 35 states, and the best part of Cogent Analytics is it's not about me; it's about my people. We frequently say, "Raise others up, and you will rise." So I love the way you introed your show. Yeah. The small business really employs most Americans, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I was in the military. I had the privilege of serving. And really since that time, I came up the hard way. I was an enlisted guy. And when I got out of the military, I ended up with the first job. And, I had equity by the time I was, well, I'll just say pre-30, right? Let me not date myself. Let me not make myself too old at this point, although I do have a couple of gray hairs. We're not going to talk about that, right? And I have a passion working with other entrepreneurs. I've been representing people for 20 years, and the best part of the small business owners, it's people with great ideas and a lot of heart and a lot of spirit. And frankly, they go into business because they got heart and spirit and a talent. Normally, they don't really focus on the business of the business. Now, I'm not casting shade on a bunch of people out there. I would just say that I frequently tell clients that the business of the business is more important than the business that you do.
Yeah.
And, it's a wealth creation vehicle. It's about taking care of your family and your people and your people's family. So sorry for the long answer.
No, it's a great answer. It's great. A lot of people wanted to, do this. They wanted to be serial entrepreneurs. They don't have the help. They don't have the finances. And so tell me, why did you start this company, and what do you do and how do you do it for your clients?
I started almost by mistake. I sold a company and really told my wife that I was going to open another company, but, running solo, because when I was younger, I was the junior partner, right? I was the guy with a little bit of equity, and I was serving the guys with deeper pockets than I was, and, from that, I was right on the threshold of opening my own company. I finally made it to where I was going to be the 100% business owner. And I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning after the bank gave me the money to open my company, and told my wife, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I rolled over and I said, honey, I think I'm going to go interview for some jobs. And she asked me if I was crazy. And I said, well, the answer to that question. And she said, okay, well, why would you do that?
Right.
And I said, baby, you've been married to an entrepreneur. You know what that life is. You know how hard it is. And, I want to do right by you and the kids. So I interviewed for some jobs, and I always say the best mistake I've ever made in my life, I became a business analyst working for another firm. And that's really where the passion started. I had the privilege of working with over 1,000 small business owners all over the country, and realized, I always make the joke, I are one. And it really, once it's in your soul, it stays forever. So I didn't like the firm I was working for, mostly because I thought they were more about the build hour than they were about making a difference. Mm-hmm. And that's how Cogent Analytics was born. It was myself and 5 other people with a whole lot of dreams and a lot of values. And, here we sit with over 250 people today. And that's It really is an amazing opportunity to work with small business owners. It's the greatest blessing I'll ever have.
I hear that. I hear that. And everybody has a story of accidentally getting into something.
That's right.
And wow, so it's the best mistake you ever made. And now you have your own business. What do you do for your clients? Exactly what can a client expect if they do approach you?
So we go in with a discovery process. Now, yes, we are a consulting company, but I always tell people consulting isn't for everybody. That's a pretty intensive process. It requires change. It requires most often dealing with the truth. Sometimes it starts with you first.
I hate that
And,
sometimes. It's hard.
that truth is hard sometimes.
It's hard. Yeah.
Now, the discovery process that I always say, I'll do a discovery with every small business in America. If they open the doors, we're going to do that with the right spirit. It's a 2 to 5 day process, depending on the size of your business. I don't do Wall Street, I do Main Street. So all privately held companies. And I have an amazing group of analysts. Everybody's been a former president. So really, we come in and have that president to president conversation, and we focus on the 4 pillars of business. That's business development. How do you make it rain? Organizational engineering. That's the right hats on the right heads. Process engineering, and that's how you do what you do profitably. And measurement, which is the 4th pillar, really drives the other 3 pillars. But that's not just financial balance sheet, that's operational reporting. That is how you, the president, make better decisions in your business. Are you living, I say, are you living backwards? Are you what I bring in the door to what it costs me is what I get to keep? And a lot of times we see small business owners underperforming when it comes to profitability. What we try to do is maximize revenue, cash flow, and equity of the company, because this is your vehicle. If you're going to go into a small business, what you own is probably your retirement program. So we try to maximize the revenues coming to your door, the cash flow to run your business, and at the end of the day, profitability and equity value of your company. That's our number 1 mission.
Wow. Wow. And like you said, it can be hard,
It is
but
hard.
also there's a lot of mom and pop shows out there that are actually just mom or
That's right.
just pop.
Just
And
daughter or just pop.
And they're doing everything. They're wearing all of the hats. What kind of suggestions do you give to these one person businesses that are out there, trying to make it happen?
When you first get started, Yaya, you're always just you. And you got to sell it, you got to do the work, it's always the story of 2 guys in a truck. Really in small business, if you have a trade or a skill and you just want to be a one-horse show, that's okay. There is nothing wrong with defining your own destiny. I don't want to take away from the hardworking folks that are just them. For us, it's that first stage of business, which is really that $1 million company, typically 6 to 8 employees, somewhere in there. That's that first really painful journey that most small business owners go through. And that is the profit platform. We focus on the pillars of business. Those 4 elements, biz dev, people, process, and measurement, is the critical pathway to a business owner being able to scale appropriately. Now, there's different things that happen as you get more than that really 10 employee threshold. But I don't want your listeners to hear that just because you have a business, doing $1.2 million with 8 employees, to us, that's the heart blood of our country. That's every little town in America has this company. So to me, those are the people we serve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now, we have some very large clients, but to me, that's the oxygen in the room.
Right, definitely. I mean, if you had like 2 or 3 big companies, but then you had like 30 or 40 different smaller companies, who's paying you the most? That's what I'm saying. It's like, you have these small companies, and we don't realize how much power we do have. Imagine if we all did what we are supposed to do and come together and get the analytics and also understand where we stand in the country. I don't think the country would be able to survive without us.
They're not, absolutely not. The small business owner is still the backbone. It's that entrepreneurial spirit that, even when you were starting your show, I'm sure you thought about it a little bit before you launched the Yaya Diamond Show, and you jumped in, and here you are. You shared with me that you started in 2006 before podcasting was even a thing.
Yeah.
And now look at you. You've worked on your brand, you've worked on your business, you've worked on what you bring to the market space.
Yeah.
I say kudos. That's that spirit it takes.
Thank you. The biggest change was actually getting the analytics and understanding my default.
Amen.
I didn't want to hear it. It was like, I'm doing the best I can, but you're not doing good enough. It's a lot of things that we're placing our values into. We're taking our time to spend in one area when we really shouldn't be doing so much in this area. We should be doing something more in this area to make it happen. But what can people do to actually get involved with you? And do you have a free consultation? Do you have a paid consultation? How do people reach you?
So we field phone calls. You can reach out through our website. It's cogentanalytics.com. You can call us at 833-4MY-PROFIT. We have advisors every single day fielding phone calls from small business owners all across the country. We put a massive amount of thought leadership on our website. So even if you want to check us out a little bit, we have hundreds of client stories, thousands of letters of testimony. But the real thing that I forced my team to do in the early days is share the tools of business, because most people, they'll go to a website and they don't want to reach out to us. There's a certain fear factor and you want to hunt around a little bit. So we put a lot of thought leadership about business development practices. We put a lot of thought leadership around process management. How do you make your business more profitable? After you check us out a little bit, you read some of the stories. If you want to engage with an advisor, we're more than happy to field those first discussion points. We don't charge for that. Yeah. To us, it's why we serve. And, I think at the right time, when a small business owner reaches that point where they're putting in, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours worth of work, and they probably could go get a job working for somebody else to make more money because the dream hasn't taken off yet. That's really when people reach out to us and say, okay, I'm great at these things, but my business hasn't turned over yet. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And that's the key.
Right.
A lot of people are doing a lot of right things. Now, business is there's a certain art or a science. And what we try to do is we help them realize their dreams, right? Because when you went into business and you're trying to build something, there's a process to get from startup to that small business, 8, 10 employees. And then there's another step to scale your business beyond that. There are natural thresholds, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. And I just want everybody to know, when you see that company in your local town, that guy's been around for 15, 20 years, running a little $10 million shop, and you think he's got it all figured out, I can promise you that's not the story. Every entrepreneur walks in the same set of shoes every day, right? Whether it's finding good people, whether it's going to market. Sorry, Yaya, go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, come on. It's like, okay, you're flying by the seat of your pants a lot of times. It's like, what am I
Amen.
doing? Why am I doing this? Oh my gosh, should I stop? I'm never getting a real job. I'm really against getting a real job. I've had it. I really don't like it. I really, and the biggest thing about me is I literally can't stand people like you who don't do the customer service right. And I will tell them off and they will fire me.
Well, that's
So,
because you're
yeah,
there to serve, and you
right.
expect service because you're prepared to give service.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
is
that's
also the
why,
spirit of the small business owner. Amen.
yeah, yeah. And that's why I love what you're doing, because you're helping the small business owner become a bigger business owner, but not only that, a smarter business owner. And that to me is amazing.
So I'm going to change just smarter to wiser.
Okay.
My dad told me that, we were born with all the smarts we were ever going to have. Wisdom comes every day. So I've seen a lot of really smart people, master's degree in business, the all the degrees on the wall that still have the same struggles. Entrepreneurship is a fight every day, right? And I'm not sure that I could point you to a couple books, but it's funny how that works. If you haven't lived it, running a business, having that responsibility to make paychecks, caring about your people, being able to get customer trust, those are the real stories. And it isn't about smarts, it's about wisdom,
Gotcha.
those lessons that we learn every day. And that's what we try to bring to our clients, best practice. We've got thousands of years of experience in this company now. People have had like stories. A lot of entrepreneurs or former entrepreneurs work here at Cogent Analytics, and that's that same spirit of service that we try to bring back to our clients, because they're going through they're on the journey, right? They're in the walk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's why I like what you're doing, because you have that customer service spirit. We have to help another person. We have to help that entrepreneur. It's going to make us better. And like you said, wiser as well as the process goes through. We're all going to be learning from each other. I love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for starting this company by accident.
And by accident on purpose, right? I always like to
By
tell them,
accident on purpose. Definitely, definitely. Well, Robert, thank you so much. What kind of advice do you give if someone just can't afford it? They are just so bogged down, they're behind. What kind of advice do you give to those people to kind of help them through this moment?
So if you're just starting out your company, the I've seen a lot of people make one foundational mistake. You have to have a product that you believe in, and you really do have to sell. It's kind of like doing a rain dance. I see a lot of people with great ideas that don't go through the activity of generating revenue. They do a little marketing, do a little advertising, they wait for the phone to ring. It's like that movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. It's just not true. You have to actively drive revenue in your company, and you have to be mindful of what your real cost of producing your product is. Those are the two fundamental mistakes I see people make. We don't drive revenue the way it should. You get one relationship that's willing to give you a little business, and then you call it a business. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings out there when I say next. Sometimes a popsicle stand is a popsicle stand. When you're really working on driving a business, I will be more than happy to point you to good reading. You don't have time to stop and go get a business degree. And I met a lot of business degree people that didn't know how to run a small business. So manage your finances, keep tight costs, drive your revenue in the business, be really conservative on how you spend your cash flow, because it can come and go very, very quickly. You've got to build the relationships that you are fostering in your business, that concentration of risk where you're getting all of your business from one resource. Because if that resource ever changes its mind, you go from having a small business to not being a business anymore.
That's right.
Remember that 8 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 5 years. And most of that failure is tied to bad planning, not having enough cash flow, concentration of risk, right? These are all the danger points. And if you've got a listener today that's having a challenge in any one of those areas, please reach out to one of our advisors. That sometimes that conversation and being able to just talk through what you're dealing with every day can give you enough direction to make a better decision tomorrow.
Definitely, definitely. And one more time, how can people reach you guys?
Oh, please, 833 for my profit. That's the number 4, my profit. And then cogentanalytics.com is the easiest way. We have advisors. You can send us a note. There's a little form. We're even putting together an entrepreneurial quiz for the small business owners. Not quite up yet, but it's kind of a self-evaluation, Yaya, that helps people really take a look at themselves in a mirror a little bit. But, again, cogentanalytics.com and 833, the number 4, and then my profit.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Robert. I appreciate it. Definitely. If you guys are looking to do something bigger, you're looking to be better, you're not going to be scared about, all of the resources you're going to get and all of the advice you're going to get and the criticism as well. Don't be scared. Just go ahead and go for it. It's going to be the best thing that you've ever done in your life and especially in your business. I'm going to put all of those links in the description box below, as well as that phone number, so that you can go ahead and just do your 30-second crazy thing today and give a call, press the call button, and then freak out later. Okay. That's what I'm going to say. All right. And until next time, guys, don't forget to dare to be different. Bye. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified the next time that I upload. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys.
I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare to